Hey guys, Gene here from the BSP Wrestling Show, here to bring you guys a quick video, something I've been thinking about over the past few days ever since WrestleMania ended, and that's just the legendary career of The Undertaker. I wanted to make this video a few days ago, but I've had some time to sit on it and think about it a little bit. I'm not going to really critique the match he had with Roman Reigns. I understand, the business side of it and him just doing good business on his way out in his last match. So I just completely understand it from that standpoint, and I'm just going to leave it at that. But I just want to talk about his career. One of the most historic careers in the history of the WWE, spanning back to 1991 when he first came to what was then at the time the WWF. He's been known as a very mysterious character. Except for the few years he was known as Big Evil, and he would talk a whole lot more, and was just a different character, and a lot of people didn't like that side of Taker. I enjoyed it for what it was, just hearing him talk, and at the time like I said, there was a mystique about him. You didn't really hear him talk as much, but during his Big Evil phases he talked a lot more, interacted with the crowd a whole lot more, had the motorcycle thing. It was just like the Mark Calloway side of The Undertaker, and it was cool. I appreciated it. But most people like the Phenom, the Dead Man, the music, the long jacket, the hat, the rolling of the eyes in the back of the head. Everybody loved that type of Taker, and of course that was my favorite. Even his Ministry of Darkness character and stuff, it was just like scary back then. Growing up a wrestling fan, I was like, 4, 5, 6 years old when I was watching this. So it was creepy back then. I remember just being terrified every time he came on the screen, every time that music hit, his clothes, the way he walked, the goatee he had, just everything about him made you afraid of him. And I appreciate it now, looking back on it, being a wrestling fan as long as I've been. I think I've been watching since about 97, 98. So, just remembering seeing him back then and just seeing him now, it's just like, wow. He's paid a lot of dues in the wrestling business, and he's done a lot for the business. And not only is he a 7-time world champion, WWE and world heavyweight combined, he's a 1-time hardcore champion, 6-time tag team champion, Royal Rumble winner, 12-time Slammy Award winner, but he had one of the most legendary streaks and records at WrestleMania in all of professional sports. One of the most legendary streaks of any type of sport. And as impressive as it was more impressive that he had won 21 straight WrestleMania matches before ultimately falling to Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. He won the next 2 years versus Bray Wyatt and then Shane McMahon, and then he ultimately fell in what is perceived to be his final match in the WWE and in his wrestling career versus Roman Reigns. Every year he performed at WrestleMania, he looked great, except for the 2 times he fell to defeat. Well, he didn't look bad this year at WrestleMania, but WrestleMania 30, that was probably his worst match at any WrestleMania ever. Like, he just did not look good in that match at all. But who could forget? Who could forget his 2 matches at WrestleMania 25 and 26 versus Shawn Michaels? And just because he looked bad at WrestleMania 30, it doesn't take away from his legendary career. But like I said, who could forget those matches he had with Shawn? 2 of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my entire life. You had End of an Era with Triple H inside the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels as special guest referee. I just rewatched that the other day and just re-appreciate how great that match was as well. Man, it's just like he's just given us great matches over the past 2 decades, and just something you marvel at and appreciate at the greatness of this man, how he could just stay on top for so many years, even though he left for a little while in the latter part of his career because his health was dwindling a little bit. Every time he came back, he captivated the audience, and he still put on a great performance no matter what or who was in the ring with him. And it's just like he's given us all these moments, and I just wanted to give thanks to him for being so great, for being one of the greatest of all time. And, of course he's going to the Hall of Fame. Whenever he's eligible, they need to put him in immediately. He will be the headliner of that Hall of Fame class. I can remember this one moment I want to talk about real quick. It was Great American Bash 2004. He faced the Dudleys in a handicap concrete crip match where Paul Bearer his manager at the time, was inside this little crypt, and they had like the truck with the concrete in it. And if Taker lost the match, they would fill it up with concrete and pretty much, kill Paul Bearer. That was a story at the time. And I remember, he got past the Dudleys, he won the match, and then he was the one to actually fill the crypt with concrete, and he, ended Paul Bearer. And I could just remember him, wondering, like Paul Bearer just selling it like, Taker, why? Or something like that. And he was just like, rest in peace, and just got rid of him. It was creepy. It was weird. I didn't expect that. It was a twist. It was just like the element of surprise. It's something we don't have today in professional wrestling. And I just remember how awesome it was. Even though it was creepy, it was still awesome. But like I said, he's definitely going into the Hall of Fame as soon as possible. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. Nobody should question whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. He should have his own separate wing in the Hall of Fame, just like Ric Flair. He's had that type of impact on the wrestling business. So, like I said, I just want to thank him for all the matches, all the memories, the mystique, all the years you gave the fans and the business, the blood, sweat, and tears, and everything that made you, you. Thank you, Undertaker.